Hello everyone, in this video I'll be covering the best crosshairs for each character in Marvel Rivals, as well as giving off the codes for them, because some heroes just play better with different crosshairs and it makes the game a whole lot easier. So I just want to cover this as I had a few requests for this. But this crosshair in particular is a very useful one, because for characters like Winter Soldier here, or other hit scan weapons or projectile weapons that are very accurate, this one's going to help with landing headshots really easily. So this one is great. I like the green color as well. The blue color can be nice on this because it'll give you the options of seeing this at times that the screen is very busy. White also works well, but blue and green are typically the ones that I think work best. Again, your choice in color is going to be whatever suits you personally. Yellow can also be a nice color here, but this one, all the links will be in the description for this. But again, Winter Soldier is a great choice for this. As well, if you're going, you can really use this for anyone. Like the Punisher, it also works pretty good because with this gun, it's great for getting headshots off, as the adjudication rifle here is extremely accurate, so it's a good choice for that. But if you switch to the shotgun, it can still work, but the range on the shotgun is much larger, so that is a little bit different when you get into that. This also works decently for Hawkeye, but I even like just the default cursor for Hawkeye as well, because I find that it works pretty well. But you can see here, we're able to get a few really easy headshots off with this, so it works great for Hawkeye and Hela both. So if you're fans of playing them, this can work. It's even on theme for Hela here, so that's perfect as well. Hela also, you want to play almost like it's a marksman rifle, so don't hold down her trigger. Just a little bit of a heads up, as I don't know a lot of people know that. But again, any of the characters that have great accuracy, so even like Mantis can be good for this. She has a projectile attack here, so it is a little bit harder to aim with this because you have to lead your shots. But Luna Snow here is a hit scan, so this works great for Luna Snow. I prefer to go with the blue color for it for her. So you can see here, this is the crosshair that I used in a lot of videos previously, just going with the blue. I have switched to the auto one, the most basic one. I find that that works well as well, but for Luna Snow, this is great because it doesn't take up a lot of screen real estate, and it's very accurate for doing shots like that. So this can be a very effective one for a lot of different characters. I think that it works best for most healers. Even if you're going into tanks, Doctor Strange, this one can work really well on as well, because it just gives you exactly where you're going to be hitting with your target, even though the attacks are kind of they hit in a larger area and they twirl together. You can also go with that. In addition, it works great for Magneto too, but some other heroes don't really work as well with this. But you can see here, Magneto's damage isn't super high, but this works great for Magneto. So yeah, you can roll with that. In addition, this also works with Penny. So if you're gonna roll with Penny, you can really go with anything because her attacks are projectile a little bit slower, but this is going to be the most accurate version of the crosshairs. So if you wanted to roll with that, this can work pretty well for her too. But as we get into some of the heroes like Captain America, this one doesn't make the most sense because it's a little bit too precise for our attacks. So for melee characters, I find that this larger reticule here works pretty well, because this allows you to land your hits, as sometimes while you're moving around up close to someone, it's just better to have a larger cursor or crosshair to be able to make sure that you're still hitting them effectively. So this is great for even heroes like Magic, Captain America. Even Thor works well. Iron Fist, I like this style crosshair because it's bigger, so that whenever you're getting in close to someone, you can make sure that you are going to aim and hit the target that you want to hit. So that can be also very nice. In addition, this ring also works great as a crosshair too. So if you're going with a melee character, I just find that the bigger the crosshair, the easier it is for hitting your shots when it comes to melee. So this yellow ring here works well. Again, color is entirely up to you. I like to go with a green, blue, or yellow, but even just the basic white can work well. Some of the colors like red, I find, especially in this new season, are a little bit more difficult to see. So it may be better to go with something like a yellow, green, or blue. But for any melee character, this is going to work well. So even if you're going with like a Magic, this or the previous crosshair will work well, because it's just easier to see the middle of the screen with a larger crosshair there. You can, again, use any of the others that you find work well, but for Magic, I find this one works great for keeping things on. And it also, thematically, the yellow ring works great for her too. It also works thematically well for Iron Fist too. So getting in close with his attacks here, you can see that it looks really good for someone like Iron Fist. It's not too much of on the screen, but it just works very well for that. So this can work great on any melee character, I find. So yeah, this one is great. I find that this one takes up a bit more screen real estate, but you could also go with this ball here just for if you're playing a melee character. It can work decent enough, but I'm just not a fan of it eating up that much of the screen, especially near the center where you could be using this for something else. But this is another option that you can go with. it's going to be best on a melee character, or even something like the Scarlet Witch here, because this is just going to, you're just going to aim that ball onto a target and it keeps it easy. But she does have some range attacks, so this will hide your screen a bit too much for my personal taste. But yeah, that is another option that I'll put in the description. The X Crosshair is also another popular one. It's very minimalistic. Can be good for other targets that are kind of like in the mid-range, because you see there, it doesn't take up a lot of your screen and it just kind of opens things up. I'm going with the blue here, but you can also go with the white because that works well too. But good for mid-range characters, I find, or even like if you're going like a Black Panther, or with the more accurate characters, I find it's a little bit much. But you could go with even Mr. Fantastic here, because I find that this is just minimalistic, fits thematically for the colors, so you can go that way. It works great, I would say. If you want something a little bit less of like screen real estate wise, this one's a really good one. Minimalistic, you can see exactly where you're aiming, but it's going to be a little bit less accurate for characters like Hawkeye or Hela. Another option is just a small dot on the screen. I'm not the biggest fan of this, but I know some people that do enjoy it. It's accurate because it's just going to hit directly in the middle of the screen. I prefer going with something that's going to have like crosshairs to help line up the shots, or even like a circle around that. The basic cursor is really good for that, because it just gives you basically this with a circle around it, so you can aim. If something gets close range, you have that circle there to guide you in the right direction. But if you're going for something a little bit more long range, you have that circle just for the dot in the middle, just to help out with the aiming. So this can be another one. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I know some others are. Some people like a bigger crosshair here, and this even has a little circle in the middle. So if you're playing as Iron Man, this can work really well, because it's just literally perfect for things like this. And the way the crosshairs work, it's going to keep things pretty open up here. I think this one works great for Iron Man, or even if you're going with like a Storm, this could also work. But this one's typically going to be best for Iron Man, I would say. I think that this just, it's a little bit bigger in terms of the screen that it takes up, but for Iron Man, it can help with landing your shots, and it kind of has that splash zone as well. So I think that this one is just absolutely perfect for Iron Man. And if you're going to play an Iron Man, this is not a bad choice, to be honest. This one here is a little bit more open, but it can be good on heroes that hit in a, like with different weapons, like Punisher here. It'll open up, as you can see, to help with your shots. But depending on the gun, it's going to keep things pretty close to what you would want for this. There is a bit of a weapon spread, and this will help account for it, especially at like medium to long ranges. You're going to see that, yeah, maybe it will not hit, but at least if you're able to keep the target within these red crosshairs, that'll be much more likely for it to land. But again, this is also something that, you know, if you're going to go with this, you could also just go with the basic circle crosshair, because that can also work as well. But this works great for like the Punisher or any other mid-range, even like Namor here, you could go with that. It just keeps things really open in the middle, which some people prefer. I'm not gonna, it's not my cup of tea, but it can be something great. Even like a Wolverine can work really well, because I mean, it's just red like rage, and a little bit bigger too. So this is kind of like a catch-all for anyone, except for like the most accurate ones, like going with a Hawkeye or Hela. You'd probably want to go for something a little bit different, like a more crosshair, the close together kind that I mentioned previously. But this can also work with like Squirrel Girl, because she's got like these exploding attacks, so you can just literally get the character lined up in the middle of this, and from that it just makes it a little bit easier. So that works well too. If you want to go with something like that, yeah, it works pretty great. So there it is. Those are the best crosshairs for pretty much every character in Marvel Rivals. And let me know your thoughts, or if you want to get a different crosshair or anything related to this. I'll be answering comments as I do on all my videos, so feel free to hit the subscribe button below as well if you found this video useful, and I'll see you all in the next video.